Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this week's Coffee with Chris, where we talk about Amazon seller news and opinion and things going on in the e-commerce space. We welcome all Amazon sellers, flippers, resellers, and arbitrageurs of all stripes. We are live from sunny Central Florida this Friday morning. I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Tracy, what is going on? Good morning, Nicole. Nicole has a brand new book out on Amazon called the ABCs of FBA. It's a guide to small and light. You should go grab yourself a copy. It's going to be in my weekly email. There will be a link in there to go grab yourself a copy. Go over there, make her a bestseller on Amazon, and I would greatly appreciate it. It is super affordable, priced at 99 cents for right now. So grab your copy before that price goes up. We've got several things to get to. And of course, as usual, we will take any questions that you might have at the end of the news and opinion segment. So let's go ahead and let's dive into it. Burley, Denise, what's going on? Good to see everybody. Please do me a huge solid. Make sure to absolutely smash the like button for me to help this video in the respective algorithms on Facebook and YouTube. Get this out to a couple more folks or share this with your friends. But let's go ahead and dive right in. So the very first thing I wanted to get to this morning is the battle of billionaire bad boys in space. You may not have, well, you all have heard that Jeff Bezos is going to space on July 20th, at least for 11 minutes or so. However, Richard Branson decided to one-up Jeff Bezos, and Virgin Galactic announced that their launch window opens on July 11th for their first fully crewed space flight. Richard Branson is going to be on board along with a couple of pilots so that they can test out whether or not this will be viable for commercial traffic or people like you and I to pick up a ticket to take a quick hop to space. Richard Branson had a quote. He says, "I've always been a dreamer. My mom taught me to never give up and reach for the stars. And on July 11th, it's time to turn that dream into reality aboard the next Virgin Galactic space flight." This does come after Richard Branson and Virgin Galactic launched some satellites just recently. So it'll be interesting to see if they make it through their launch window. And then, of course, just a week and a half or so after Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos is going to space with his brother, an unknown person as of right now, who paid like $28 million to go to space. But an interesting twist happened in that, and I don't mean the 130,000 plus people that have signed the petition for Jeff Bezos's re-entry to Earth to be revoked, but they are also going to be taking on Blue Origin. They're going to be taking the oldest woman ever to go to space. She's an aerospace pioneer. Her name is Wally Funk, and she'll be aboard the New Shepard next month, or actually this month, later this month. And she is 82 years old. So hopefully that goes. Hopefully that goes well. I don't want to see any bad things happen during that. So let's see here. What's next? E-commerce forecasts have been updated yet again for 2021. This prognosticator is eMarketer. eMarketer, I also talk about Adobe Analytics on occasion. But eMarketer came out and said that following a strong Q1 fueled by government stimulus, we've increased our forecast for U.S. retail e-commerce sales in 2021. U.S. e-commerce sales are expected to grow 17.9% this year, which is higher than the 13.7% predicted back in January of this year. They expect e-commerce sales to reach 933.3 billion, so just shy of that magic $1 trillion. That pushes e-commerce's share of total U.S. retail sales to 15.3%, which is up from 14% in 2020. And e-commerce is now on track to surpass 20% of total retail by 2024. And in a side note, Amazon is also poised to overtake Walmart as the largest retailer in the United States sometime next year, according to JP Morgan Chase. Now, I want to go on with a little bit more information about retail sales. But total retail sales this year are expected to increase by 7.9% to 6.083 trillion. And so in 2021, this will be the first time that retail sales have surpassed the $6 trillion mark. The two fastest growing categories are apparel and accessories, which is up 28.7%, and home furnishings, which is up 11.4%. And because online sales account for about 1/3 of both of those categories, those sectors should help drive overall e-commerce growth as well. Now, one of the interesting things is that total food and beverage sales are expected to show a flatter growth, but still a growth at 3.3% in 2021, after growing almost 12% last year. Now, this comes even though food and beverage sales are growing by 21.7% this year, but online grocery shopping and dine-at-home behaviors are spilling over from last year as well. Now, another category that's going to see a little bit of a stall this year, especially on the e-commerce side, is consumer electronics. Overall online growth is going to drop to about 12%, although that's pretty respectable, although it did grow 33.9% last year. However, in the midst of a pandemic, everybody in the house needed an iPad, a new computer, work-at-home electronics, and all of that stuff. So this is not unexpected. Now, one of the other interesting statistics that I saw was that for the first time, eMarketer's actually forecasting the number of U.S. consumers who are going to use BNPL service, or a buy now, pay later service. And some of the recognizable names in this space are Klarna. There's a few others in here, Afterpay and Affirm. Klarna is the biggest with 48.6% of buy now, pay later users, then Afterpay, then Affirm, which surprised me because Affirm to me has the most brand recognition, so I didn't expect that. And what you may not have noticed before is that Amazon actually has a buy now, pay later option as well. I recently bought a new backpack and I saw a buy now, pay later option. It was a buy it over the next 3 or 4 months kind of thing. But this year, 45.1 million people ages 14 and older will use a buy now, pay later platform, which is up 81% over last year. And this represents more than 1/5 of digital buyers in the US. They expect that by 2025, that figure will grow to more than 1/3. Younger consumers are, of course, driving adoption. Millennials account for 43% of buy now, pay later users, 14 and older, and then followed by Gen Zers, which account for 30.3%. So that was interesting. Now, next up, maybe on a little bit more of a sour note, I like to call this Amazon battling the wrath of Khan. You may or may not recognize the name Lina Khan, but Lina was recently given the FTC chair post. About 4 years ago, she came out with a paper in a law journal titled Amazon's Antitrust Paradox, which kind of put her on national headlines. And she's the one who's really been pretty critical of Amazon. Amazon has gone ahead and fired back, asking her to be recused from all investigations regarding Amazon. And what Amazon said is that although Amazon profoundly disagrees with Chair Khan's conclusions about the company, it does not dispute her right to have spoken provocatively and at great length about it in her prior roles. But given her long track record of detailed pronouncements about Amazon and her repeated proclamations that Amazon has violated the antitrust laws, a reasonable observer would conclude that she no longer considered the company's antitrust defenses with an open mind. From Amazon, in my opinion, that's a pretty blistering statement. And it'll be interesting to see how Amazon continues to battle the wrath of Khan in this whole FTC and all the bills that are out there in the House currently. There are going to be some interesting developments, I think, over the next months and maybe even year or so. And it'll be in your best interest and mine, of course, to make sure we keep our fingers on the pulse of what happens there. All right. Up next, in what could be a bellwether event for Amazon Logistics, last week, two really well-established and early adopters to the Amazon delivery program out in Portland, Oregon, gave Amazon an ultimatum. They said that you need to agree to a set of conditions that it said would improve revenue as well as driver safety, or they will stop delivering packages. And these two companies' names are, I had it here just a moment ago. Now I can't remember the names of these two companies, but they were one of the first adopters of the Amazon-only delivery model back in 2019. Well, Amazon refused, and those two companies terminated their contract with Amazon, which is, of course, their only client, effectively shutting down. And then they released a statement. They said Amazon's conduct over the past 2 years has become intolerable, unconscionable, unsafe, and most importantly, unlawful, which was sent in a letter to Amazon by the attorney of the two delivery companies named Triton and Last Mile. Now, what's interesting about this is Amazon is already pushing the limits on logistics. And we know that because Amazon is having that fall on us, restock limits, inventory limits, et cetera, and so on. And we know that that is because, even though Amazon doesn't say it, they're really trying to make sure that the items that need to be delivered the fastest and need to be delivered by them are the items that are in Amazon warehouses and not all of the long tail items that we've been used to being able to send into Amazon on a regular basis. Now, if this happens more and more and these Amazon last mile delivery companies start to create an uproar, it'll be interesting to see what Amazon's position is and what they do to battle this, whether or not they bring it in-house, or if they decide to rely more on UPS and FedEx. So I would keep an eye out for this and see if more of these last mile companies decide to link arms with their brethren out west. And then finally, we talked a little bit, I said it once already, but Amazon is going. JP Morgan Chase says that Amazon is the fastest growing at scale and should overtake Walmart as the largest U.S. retailer by 2022. I believe I've talked about this once before, but JP Morgan Chase came out and with a little bit more information. Between 2014 and 2020, Amazon's U.S. gross merchandise volume, or GMV, which is a closely watched industry metric used to measure the total value of goods sold over a certain period of time, has grown significantly faster than both U.S. adjusted retail sales and U.S. e-commerce, said the analysts. Neither Amazon nor Walmart break out GMV in their quarterly earnings results, but JP Morgan estimates Amazon's GMV is growing faster than its largest retail competitor saying they believe that Amazon's GMV in 2020 climbed over 41%, while Walmart's GMV was only estimated to have grown 10% year over year in 2020. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens. And of course, that will be on the back of the Amazon seller. So you deserve a pat on the back. Although I would not hold your breath for the Christmas card from Mr. Bezos. Yo, Mac, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Last couple of things. There are some changes on deck. The first is the way that safety claim communication happens. On July 15th, Safety Communication Center is going to be launched on Seller Central to clutter that up just a little bit more. This new center is going to be a single point of contact for safety claim-related communication. You're no longer going to need to respond using email or search your own inbox for safety claim-related communications. When the new center launches, you'll be able to visit the Managed Safety Claims page on Seller Central, where each claim will have a communication tab or a view message option that lets you check correspondence on that claim. You'll be able to upload attachments from the same tab, as well as appeal resolved claims directly in the communication center. Hopefully that is a positive. Hopefully it makes things much more streamlined and much more straightforward with safety claims. Now, the other thing, and prepaid returns label program. There was just a recent change to the prepaid returns label program, but it seems to be changing again, according to an announcement yesterday from Amazon. And of course, they gave us very little notice, but starting July 1, or starting yesterday, individual sellers will now be enrolled in Amazon's prepaid returns label program as part of our Selling on Amazon policy. With this change, U.S. seller fulfilled returns that meet Amazon's return policy will be automatically authorized and will provide customers with prepaid return shipping labels on your behalf through Buy Shipping Services. We'll only send you return requests that don't meet Amazon's return policy criteria or are exempt from prepaid returns. Now, in addition to that, there are going to be some changes to the prepaid returns label exemption process. Effective August 31st, if you fulfill customer orders in the U.S., returns for the following product categories are automatically exempt. Those are going to include handmade, Amazon custom, sexual wellness, certified pre-owned watches, professional medical supplies, professional dental supplies. Those are actually subcategories. Non-physical items, for example, warranties, digital software, or digital coupons. Items that are non-returnable by law and dangerous goods, and then heavy and bulky items. So those items will actually be sent to you for authorization. There is going to be more information. I'm going to have some links to all of this in my weekly email. So if you have not subscribed, now would be a great time. And that is what's going on in the Amazon world, fighting battles on all kinds of fronts. So last thing I want to do is, if anybody has any questions, thoughts, concerns that they would like to go over before we wrap up for the day and you all get back to your sourcing, shipping, and or prepping, I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have, and we'll go down that road. Yellow Brick Road, thanks for these weekly updates. Absolutely. Happy to do it. I enjoy doing this. Hopefully everybody gets a little bit of something from it. So if what's my bestseller? If I told you, I'd have to kill you. And so I can't do that. But great question, Genbox. I appreciate that. All right. If nobody has any questions, I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Again, remember, we'll be back here next Friday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another round of Coffee with Chris. And I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Please make sure to smash that like button and share this with your reseller friends. And again, I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, wash your hands, and be kind to each other. And I'll see you guys next Friday for another round of Coffee with Chris.